Hello everyone and welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. This video is it's going to be about a topic that's come up. It's come up obliquely over a couple of months. It's come up occasionally over the last couple of years. And probably back in 2005, I heard that we, the people, are being led into a neo-feudal state. Now, I don't know if what is being put out there right now is real or not. I am not for or against any of this because none of this appears to be good for us. But let's go over the topic. The topic has to do with debt, right? Debt. A serf, a peasant, is always and forever in debt to their feudal master, their lord of the land that they live on. And our country is really moved that way. We used to have inalienable rights. Now we have rights that are subject to some judge's interpretation or Congress's will. We used to have ownership of our property called allodial title. Means you own it outright, nobody can ever take it from you. Now we have title in fee simple, meaning you pay a fee, a tax, and you own the property as long as you pay the tax. And then that tax goes up and up. And you discover, you don't really own the property. Someone else can tell you what to do with it. The government can regulate it. It can be taken from you through asset forfeiture, et cetera, et cetera. And we've moved into this system now where our money is no longer ours. Our money belongs to the Federal Reserve, and they can do what they want with it. Now, if we fast forward into more current times, we have this this thing NESARA going around, and you'll find it on the internet, NESARA, and it's this belief that we're going to have debt jubilee. And so we've heard this discussion for the last year. We're going to have to forgive all the debts. They're just going to have to forgive it. They're going to have to forgive the debt and let us all go. And debt jubilee, that's how it works. And there's been a lot of arguments for and against it, and a lot of people for and even some people against it, because no debt to a banker is forgiven. It just doesn't work that way in practical application. So let's kind of examine it, if we shall. Nothing is free, so something is always given in exchange. Right? If you want a benefit or an entitlement from the state, you have to perform a certain way. So what is going around right now is a piece of paper, or several pieces of paper. One of them is from Canada, where they're talking about what is going to happen. What they've realized is the economy is totally trashed. The monetary system is completely corrupted and messed up. So what is going to happen is there's going to have to be a debt jubilee, or debt forgiveness is going to just have to happen. But we're going to have to give something up in exchange for it. And that is going to be ownership of your property. You no longer own it at all. You basically give it to the banks, but you get to live in it the rest of your life. And so things like, there's going to be a lot of questions like, well, how about hereditary title to the property? Can it go to my kids? What if I put it in a trust? What if it's already paid for? Are we going to have several different layers of citizens, some that are free and some that are less free, some that aren't hardly free at all? This idea we've heard lately of, we're going to have restricted travel. Oh, the other one was, in order to get this debt forgiveness, you have to take cerveza bug vaccines. Now, as soon as I read that, that pushed me over the line. Because what I am hearing and what I am reading on this topic of debt forgiveness sounds a lot like the fear-mongering, the super fear porn, the world is going to end tomorrow type stuff. Where, oh yeah, you're going to take the mark of the beast, the vaccine of the bug. You're going to have to give up ownership of everything in yourself, and you're going to have to let the state tell your kids 100% how to do things, right? Total 1984, Big Brother, cats and dogs living together. It's going to be screwed. That is kind of the attitude. That is the prevailing tone of this letter. And where I come in, I will say, look, I can't deny that this is going to happen because I don't know if it's going to happen. But it sounds so fantastic. It sounds so diabolical to shove us from freedom 1 year in 2019, 2020 into cerveza bug mayhem, and then believe that all of these other conspiracy theories are going to come true. We're going to have our debt forgiven, but we're going to become slaves. You have to do this, you have to do that. You can't travel, you can't go where you want, you can't believe what you want. I'm surprised they didn't roll the Second Amendment into there, and then they're going to say they're going to take your guns. To me, it sounds like fear-mongering. But it's being done at a time when the world is jam-packed full of fear. You see, people are already in a massive fearful state. They're concerned about cerveza bug. And if you're not concerned about that, you're concerned about the effects of cerveza bug on society, the economy, on government, on our rights. People are very concerned and fearful of their future, their retirement, their children, their own health. You see, the playing on the fear, I think, by putting these letters out. Now, that's me saying I don't want to believe another fantastic fairy tale theory that's being rolled around in the public. Not again. I don't need more of this shit in my life, and I don't think anyone does. But it's out there right now, right? So it's out. Someone's putting it out. The way it read was, my brother's sister's cousin, or this was on the radio, or I heard this, or I got a letter, or this is from a reputable source. But I looked and saw it's being passed around on Proton Mail. And Proton Mail is a secure mail server. So that is where people who are more prone to paranoia tend to do their emailing. Right? They're prone to paranoia, which means they're prone to a lot of other things. So as much as they can say, well, this is real, I can say, well, what you're doing is real too. Now, I've kind of debunked it. Now I'm going to support it a little. We have had in times past some of the most egregious moves by governments, all through human history, to enslave their fellow man, to steal their money, to take their lives. The most recent one was 9/11. On such a fantastic scale, right? What happened there was on such a fantastic scale that it could barely be fathomed what had happened. And the resulting Patriot Act and loss of our rights, the National Defense Authorization Act, right? We got a lot of stuff out of that. And here we are. And just a few short years after that, we had the boom-bust cycle 2008-2009. And onward. We've been watching the system disintegrate, well, my whole life, literally, since Nixon took us off the gold standard, closed the gold window. We've had trouble. The whole world has always been in trouble. It's like you can't go 50 years without something enormous happening. So why not this? And why not now? Why not with the medical, technical, technological, legal, political, power, military ramblings, right, of this giant juggernaut? Why wouldn't it be believable that they're going to move to this phase? Humans are observed to be by the powers that be, by these oligarchs. We're perceived to be something they have to deal with. They need us, but they have to deal with us. And there's too many of us, so they need to control us. Being free, being allowed to run roughshod over the whole planet and buy what we want and do what we want and go where we want, right? It's very possible that they're taking the economy away from us, that they're taking the money away from us, and they're going to let us, right? They're going to allow us to live as they see fit in a way they find to be acceptable. It is believable that they could do what is being proposed out there. What I am going to suggest is this could be another false story put out, much like Q is a bunch of hype and baloney guised, right, in the disguise of reality. by putting a few ounces of truth in with a lot of horse and bullpucky, right? And people get off on that. They're like, oh, I just created this incredible thing and people are buying it and spreading it around. It's like a chain letter. Only it's an internet chain letter. I'm just saying, I'm not going to fall for the fear. I'm not going to get all excited and crazy about it. There's nothing I could do about it anyway, except be prepared. Be prepared for what is coming that we can see, and do our best to understand it and realize our lives do belong to us. We are free. Free here, and the only constraints they can put on us are physical, and those have limitations. But I tell you folks, you know, we can't fall for everything, and we can't ignore the potentials either. So go ahead and check this stuff out. It'll come up more. The more popular it gets, the more likely it is you're going to see it. I don't know whether to believe it or to discount it. I just know it's possible, but we've seen a lot of fear stuff come out. You know, I haven't heard, the moment I hear the president say, we're going to forgive all debts, mortgages, college, credit card, automobile, but you're going to have to give something up, right? That's when you know the dime is dropped. It can happen. I just don't know if this is a bunch of hooey or not. So don't get sucked into false hope, and don't get sucked into a false reality. But we do need to be prepared. We need to be aware. And that's something I always say. You need to learn it and understand it so you can make a decision about it. Right? It's smoke and mirrors. It's probably some smoke and mirrors. But has shit hit the fan? Yes, it has. And changes to our world, like it or not, for better or worse, are coming. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Semper Fi, Godspeed.